we move to the fourth presenter for this session, Dr. Rohanis binti Ghani. The tajuk thesis, Value-Based Selection Criteria for Procurement, Strategy Assessment of Public Construction Project in Malaysia. 20 minutes, Doctor.
Doktor dan penjaga masa, penjaga masa para pembentang dan semua yang bakal researcher yang ada, saya kira mungkin bawah CBA lah yang hadir pada hari ini. Tajuk saya pada hari ini lebih pada technical, and those siapa yang berada dalam dalam kerajaan mungkin yang menjalankan menjalankan perolehan kerajaan mungkin interested about this topic, dan it's something yang lacking dalam procurement kerajaan, which is to do PS assessment. PS is procurement strategy, and also in the public projects, normally they decide on procurement strategy without any rational, dan mungkin dia punya rational mungkin vague, mungkin tidak tanpa asas dan sebagainya, mungkin jadi ikutan dan tidak berasaskan kriteria tertentu lah. Background saya sebenarnya quantity surveyor, dan saya juga value manager, dan berkhidmat di Jabatan Kerja Raya. So currently saya masih bekerja, dan saya menamatkan PhD saya sebenarnya secara HLPSB, okay? HLPSB, dan topik ni, and also kepada researcher yang mungkin berfikir-fikir HLPSB atau HLP ke sepenuh masa, sebenarnya mungkin boleh motivate jugalah untuk buat HLPSB. This is the outline of presentation. About 10 topics, but very brief. Those I cannot elaborate more. Mungkin you all boleh tanyalah, tuan-puan boleh tanya. Sebelum tu saya akan sampaikan presentation ni dalam dua bahasa lah, sebab some terms hard to say in BM, and juga terminologinya masih maintain in English. So my work basically berkisar kepada value principle integration. Topic like mentioned before, value-based selection criteria for procurement strategy assessment of public construction projects in Malaysia. Tajuk ni agak spesifik lah, sebab value-based dia adalah value integration dan selection criteria for PS assessment. That is why dia sebenarnya to integrate value principle, sebab value principle ni normally they in portray, kalau technical dia portray in reka bentuk or design or overall ataupun outcome of the project. So this one we try to integrate value principle with procurement strategy. That's something gap yang ada lah. And also we try to I try to introduce improvement in procurement management procedure, which is PS assessment. Okay, PS for procurement strategy, and PS at planning phase or strategic phase by client ministries, and also review of PS during implementation phase like JKR and badan-badan yang melaksanakan implementation phase of projects. And also, as value manager, we want to add up in our VM study or value management study a new scope that is determination of procurement strategy, and it would be value-based PS assessment. We go to problem statement. I have not a lot, but a few problem statements, but I pick one for the most important for PS, because PS is seen as strategic decision making for creating and delivering value in construction projects. So we have to take procurement strategy as also something that add value, not only design, not only scoping, not only outcome. So there are 4 gaps in my research. One thing, typical attributes for PS or PS decision making, normally it's about time, cost, quality. It's project objective, typical project objective for construction projects. Second one is about when we say value to be integrated, it's still vague and still subjective, that have to be clarified, okay, described further. And the third gap would be there's no lack of formal PS assessment, formal mechanism or the way how to assess procurement strategy before deciding the procurement, which procurement is the best. And the fourth gap is there's no establishment on value-based selection criteria. So when if they do have PS assessment, it would not be value-based. It may be centric to typical project objective and other criteria. So these 4 gaps will justify all my research and finding. One thing, for the research purpose, I have aimed to provide value-based selection criteria for application in PS assessment in public construction projects in Malaysia. We try to penetrate in clients agency and implementation agency like JKR, how to do PS assessment, how to if you want to do PS assessment, how to make it value integrated. Yeah. So I put the research questions, 3 research questions, and also research leads to research 3 research objective. Simple saja. And in fact, when the panel, initially I provided 4 because I put my validation as one of the objective to be achieved. But since the supervisors and the panel have to drop the validation because it's part of the research, but it's not will be in the objective. Depends on the RQ1. RQ is what are the attributes that reflect integration of value principles in PS. So it comes to RO1 to identify key attributes of value in the context of PS, and it goes the same macam RQ2 pun. What are the conditions that describe attributes of value in PS? So it comes to research objective 2 to determine conditions. What are conditions to describe key attributes of value in the context of PS, and For the third objective is do the relationship exist between key value attributes and selection criteria. We want to adopt the key value attributes become selection criteria of the PS assessment. That comes to my objective to establish value-based selection criteria for PS assessment. So with 3 objectives, yeah, and I have 3 phases during my. I had 3 phases during my research because I did HLPSB. Okay, it took my 6 years, including PKP time. Okay, so quite some time because buat kerja part time and also PKP. Luckily, saya dah siap analysis during PKP. It's time for my write-up and also all the findings and everything. When at first stage, I did qualitative for the research question number 1. Actually, I target this one research. The first research objective I did through triangulation. If anyone interested in triangulation, I did triangulation at initial stage to prove that what value objective means to PS context. And in phase 2, I did qualitative and also I did quantitative, and also together with for RO3, I did proportionate stratified sampling for the quantitative. Forgot to say the qualitative part is with the value experts to get everything in sequence. And in phase 3, I did simulated PS assessment on real projects. It took me about 6 real projects to simulate my use of selection criteria. Okay, this shows the whole process and methods. I would like to highlight some research methodology and the reasonings beside how I did the research. One thing, we have to use, we call it research onion. So everything is about six areas or stages in research that been clarified through research onion, which I chose pragmatism for this one, and it goes to research approach, inductive and deductive, triangulation. We have grounded theory for triangulation and survey for the quantitative part, cross-sectional, and also multi-techniques like structured interview and questionnaire survey for the reasoning for the research methodology. And being pragmatism, for my research, adopting pragmatism means about linking theory and practical. There are multiple ways to undertake our research. So maybe can give some ideas how to do research for all of you. And this is the dimension for my research. I have explanatory, I have explanatory, and I have descriptive in my research. This one is important for to achieve RO1, RO2, and 3, which I use different dimension of a study to to tackle all the process and methods and how to put the study in order. So come to research conceptual framework. This one is already encapsulate everything sebenarnya daripada start. This one is start and it goes anti-clockwise because we want to start from left. In terms of research structure, actually from the literature review, I have identified 8 generic project value attributes and 40 potential conditions. And when applied triangulation, the qualitative, quantitative, I came out with a research objective. Number 1, it verified the literature review. We found that I found that 8 key attributes, and go to RO3, I got 39 and 39 conditions to describe respective 8 key attributes. And for the research number 3, in terms of IVDV relationship, from the quantitative, I've established 6 value-based selection criteria. It's not 8 anymore, now 6, and 29 applicable and acceptable conditions to describe the key value attributes. And as a result, the research aim is achieved to provide value-based selection criteria for PS assessment. And this shows how 8 attributes as identified, because it's in line with the generic attributes construction project value. From this RO1 achievement, I got RO2 achievement, which each we have different numbers, different type of conditions to explain what are the key attributes under PS assessment. For PS assessment, ada banyak different conditions to explain the respective key attributes. And altogether 39 for the research objective achievement. This one, after the checking with IVDV, I only get 6 value-based selection criteria. Looking at the key attributes, we drop cost and risk as non-significant relationship and not chosen for selection criteria for PS assessment. It's all very structured, significant research, and I did everything. This one, significance of research, sebenarnya refer kepada apa yang dicapai lah. Research has already described the value attributes and in-depth condition of key attributes, each one, and establish the value-based selection criteria. Number 4, validated selection criteria means they are ready to be accepted and applicable. And lastly, to close the gap, there is no formal assessment for PS, okay, procurement strategy. And in terms of research impact, this research intend to introduce improvement to the procurement strategy procedure, and to try to integrate the value principle in the procurement management, and also to introduce value-based selection criteria to PS assessment, And lastly, for the value management study scope, I would like to propose to add up additional scope, that is procurement strategy, and to use this selection criteria as variables for the value study. Okay. So with that, I thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Dr. Rohanis. We have 5 minutes for Q&A. Any questions to Dr. Rohanis? Yes, please.
Okay, just to make it. Hello? Okay. Just to make it fair and square, since everyone has got at least 2 questions, so hopefully I'll get questions at the end of the day. Okay, I was so attracted to see the last slide when you were talking about value management. Okay, I just wonder, how do you define this value management? Let's look into the previous presenters. Even Dr. Nick were talking about value when she valued pokok-pokok differently, and our Dr. Lawyers here, she was talking about how she valued OKU. So in this perspective, I believe when you talk about the cost, time and quality, yes, it's very much related to value. But again, the value definition here is very vague. So can you please define what is value management in the perspective of your study? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the questions. Yes, true. It's very vague, very subjective. Okay, value, in terms of value. Even for us value managers who practice VM study, this year about 14 years, 14 years, no, not JKR only, public sector implement VM in our implementation. Yeah. So we have certain interventions and same process and same principle and value concept that normally people adopt dalam VM, biasanya berkisar 3 yang main tadilah, typical time cost quality. Okay, so this penetration of value perspective, broader value perspective, dia beyond that, lebih pada itu. Antaranya yang saya izinkan saya undur lah. This one, it's beyond time cost quality. We add up some satisfaction, resources, benefit satisfaction, and in terms of PS context, we deliberate and explain the conditions, how to get there, how to achieve value attributes. This one like new value attributes beyond we practice. Okay. That is why we call it value-based selection criteria. And that's for construction projects. The limitation tu itu je lah, construction projects and guna untuk PS for this research lah. Tapi sebenarnya idea untuk besarkan value meaning tu applicable juga untuk value dalam aspek lain, say reka bentuk, outcome or scoping. Attribute tu applicable juga, cuma for this research cuma capai untuk PS konteks lah. Okay, ada soalan lagi tak?
Any other questions?
Yeah. Okay. Researcher. Okay.
Assalamualaikum, saya T.S. Hidayah dari Pengurusan Nilai Kementerian Ekonomi. Okay. Doktor, soalan saya, research doktor ini adakah ianya memberi maksud value-value yang tertera di slide dimasukkan sebagai salah satu daripada item di dalam kontrak dan juga ada price yang dihargakan di situ untuk dilaksanakan oleh kontraktor dan sebagainya, doktor? Thank you.
Okay. Once kita put up selection criteria, yang ini, especially in PS context, kita dah masukkan ia sebagai kriteria yang dipertimbangkan bukan kontraktor. Kita nak decide procurement strategy apa. Not necessarily reflect cost. Not necessarily reflect cost. In fact, dalam research ni, findingnya cost dengan risk tak termasuk. Kita kena respect juga. Kalau dah buat kajian, ending dia macam tu, itulah cost dengan risk tak dimasukkan. So among 8 variables yang kita adopt jadi selection criteria tu, yang tu kita fokus lah. Every time kita nak adopt tu, kita kena ada condition apa. Dan condition ni kena sesuaikan balik lah. If ministry nak guna dan sebagainya. Saya tak mention kriteria tu sebab panjang. Bawah kualitinya apa, bawah apa nama, tak apalah. Okay, itu sajalah.
Okay, I just nak reflect your presentation, Doctor. I see this is very thorough research. Sebab kita nak apa-apa yang kita buat ni mesti kena ada value kan. And then I really appreciate that you use mixed method. Sebab di universiti pun student ni selalu dia akan kuanti atau kuali. But even though it take 6 years, but you did a very good research. You have a very good impact. And then siapa yang nak buat research ni boleh rujuk yang research onion tu. Sebenarnya that's a very good criteria that we have to follow in order to come up with a very good research. Okay, all the best, Doctor. Thank you.